Let's get right into it. Number 10, power breathing. You know that moment when your body panics before your brain catches up? Like your heart decides to audition for a drum solo and your lungs start acting like they're being charged rent per breath? That's because your nervous system is basically a smoke alarm with anxiety issues. Here's the 5-minute skill. Slow your exhale so it's longer than your inhale. That's it. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6, or 3 and 5, or whatever numbers don't make you feel like you're doing mouth under pressure. What's happening is stupidly simple and weirdly powerful. Your body has a built-in calm down, nothing is on fire switch called the vagus nerve. Long exhales poke it gently, like, hey buddy, stand down. Your heart rate drops, blood pressure chills out, stress hormones get the memo that this is not, in fact, a lion attack, just an email. The wild part? Your brain believes you're breathing more than your thoughts. You can think, I'm fine, all day, but if you're breathing like you're being chased through IKEA, your brain's like, nope, lies. Do this before a meeting, a confrontation, or opening a text that starts with, we need to talk. People will swear you're calm, confident, and emotionally mature. You're not. You're just tricking your biology like a raccoon with a shiny object. And this is the least unsettling skill on the list. Later, there's one that lets you mess with memory itself. Just saying. Number 9, instant name locking. Ever meet someone, hear their name, and immediately lose it like your brain hit delete instead of save? That's not rudeness, that's your hippocampus being lazy. Here's the 5-minute fix. When someone tells you their name, repeat it back, but attach a visual that's slightly unhinged, not logical, not polite, weird. If their name is Mark, imagine a marker drawing on their forehead. Sarah, picture a tiny tiara hovering above her head like she's been knighted by chaos. Your brain loves absurdity. It remembers nonsense way better than normal information because normal information is boring and your brain hates boring. Neurologically, you're creating extra pathways. The name isn't just a sound anymore. It's an image, a concept, a mini hallucination you voluntarily installed. Congrats, you've upgraded the file from temporary cache to permanent storage. The sneaky benefit? People feel oddly validated when you remember their name, like you've paid attention on a spiritual level. They'll think you're charismatic, present, maybe even trustworthy. You didn't become any of those things, you just remembered a syllable with flair. And if this feels manipulative, wait until we get to the later skill that makes people agree with you without realizing why. That one's concerning. Basically, your memory isn't broken, it's just bored. Entertain it and it'll work for you. Number 8, voice gravity. Have you ever noticed that some people say absolutely nothing important, yet everyone leans in like they're about to reveal a state secret? Meanwhile, you could announce free pizza and still sound optional. That's not confidence, that's vocal physics. Here's the 5-minute skill. Slow down your speech by about 10 to 15% and let your sentences land downward instead of upward. No rushing, no accidental question marks at the end of statements. You're not asking permission to exist. Your brain and everyone else's associate slower, lower, more deliberate speech with certainty. This isn't cultural fluff, it's biology. A calm voice signals safe, predictable, not currently being eaten by a predator. Fast, jumpy speech signals something is wrong and I don't know what. What's wild is that your own brain listens to your voice too. Speak slower and your nervous system starts matching the vibe. Heart rate drops. Thoughts line up instead of sprinting in different directions like toddlers on espresso. You don't need to fake a deep movie trailer voice, just pause slightly longer than feels comfortable. Humans hate silence so much that whoever speaks calmly through it instantly feels in control. People will interrupt you less, they'll remember what you said more, and they'll assume you know what you're talking about even when you're explaining something you Googled 4 minutes ago. This becomes genuinely dangerous when combined with a later skill on this list that messes with agreement patterns. I'm just warning you now. Basically, your voice is a steering wheel for attention. Turn it gently. Everyone else will follow. Number 7, micro-confidence posture. Imagine you walk into a room and before you say a word, everyone's brain already decided whether to take you seriously. Congrats, that judgment happened in under 2 seconds and it had nothing to do with your personality. Here's the 5-minute upgrade. Align your ears over your shoulders, shoulders over hips, and stop collapsing inward like you're apologizing for existing. That's it. No chest puffing, no superhero stance, just stacked bones. Your posture feeds directly into your nervous system. Slouched posture compresses your chest, limits breathing, and quietly tells your brain, we are small, we are threatened, prepare for emotional damage. Upright posture opens the lungs, increases oxygen, and nudges your brain toward alert calm instead of defensive chaos. This isn't motivational poster nonsense. Studies show posture affects hormone balance, pain tolerance, and even how assertive you feel making decisions. You're not changing your mindset, you're changing the input cable. And here's the creepy part. Other people respond to it instantly. Upright posture signals stability and predictability. Slumped posture signals stress and uncertainty. Humans are pattern recognition machines. They don't wait for evidence, they vibe check you and move on. You don't need perfect posture all day. Just reset it before conversations, meetings, or moments that matter. Think of it like hitting refresh on your physical operating system. Later, there's a skill that lets you hijack attention without saying a word at all. Compared to that, this one's practically wholesome. Basically, confidence isn't something you summon, it's something your skeleton whispers to your brain. Number 6, the strategic pause. Ever notice how the most unsettlingly confident people are never in a hurry to fill silence? They'll ask a question, then just wait. No nervous rambling, no verbal buffering noises, just silence, hanging there like an unpaid bill. That's the skill. Shut up for 2 seconds longer than feels socially acceptable. Your brain hates silence. Other people's brains hate it even more. When a pause stretches, the listener's mind starts doing the work for you. Processing, guessing, sometimes even agreeing prematurely just to end the discomfort. Neurologically, silence creates anticipation. Anticipation increases attention. Attention increases perceived importance. You didn't say anything smarter, you just gave the words more gravity by letting them echo. This works especially well after you make a statement instead of a question. Say your point, stop talking. Let the room metabolize it. Someone will usually respond with more detail than you asked for because their brain is trying to resolve the open loop. And here's the sneaky part. Your own nervous system calms down during the pause too. Silence forces slower breathing. Slower breathing tells your brain we're safe. So while everyone else is spiraling internally, you're just standing there. Later on, this pairs dangerously well with a skill that makes people reveal more than they planned. You've been warned. Basically, silence isn't awkward. It's a psychological vacuum, and humans rush to fill it. Number 5, the agreement mirror. Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, wait, why did I just agree to that? Congratulations, you've met this skill in the wild. Here's how it works. When someone explains their point, you briefly restate it in your own words before adding anything new. That's it. No arguing, no correcting, just mirroring. So what you're saying is, followed by a clean summary. This does something wild to the brain. Humans are wired to relax when they feel understood. Feeling understood lowers defensiveness. Lowered defensiveness opens the door to influence. You didn't overpower them, you disarmed them. Psychologically, you're activating validation circuits. Their brain gets a tiny reward hit for being heard, which subconsciously associates you with safety and cooperation. From there, your opinion feels less like opposition and more like collaboration. This works in disagreements, negotiations, and emotionally charged conversations. People will often nod along to your summary even if it slightly reframes their point. Once they nod, their brain commits. Consistency bias kicks in. They're now more likely to accept what comes next. Is this manipulation? A little. Is it also how therapists, mediators, and effective leaders communicate? Absolutely. And paired with the upcoming skill about attention hijacking, this one becomes ethically spicy. Basically, people don't want to be right. They want to be understood. Do that first, and logic gets a seat at the table. Number 4, attention hijacking. You know when someone walks into a room and without raising their voice or waving their arms, everyone just notices? That's not charisma. That's attention control. Here's the 5-minute skill. Move slower than the environment around you. Not dramatically, just enough to feel intentional. Human attention is drawn to contrast. Fast-moving rooms make slow movers stand out. Loud spaces make calm voices magnetic. Your brain flags anything that breaks the pattern as important, possibly relevant to survival. When you slow your movements, sitting down deliberately, turning your head fully before speaking, pausing before responding, you create visual punctuation. People's eyes track you automatically because your rhythm doesn't match the noise. This also feeds back into your own brain. Slower motion reduces cortisol. Reduced cortisol improves decision-making. So while everyone else is mentally sprinting, you're jogging with a water bottle. This is why predators move smoothly. This is why confident people don't fidget. And this is why nervous energy repels attention instead of attracting it. The creepy part, you can combine this with silence and suddenly people wait for you to speak. You didn't demand attention, you made your presence unresolved. Later, the top 2 skills on this list push this from useful into mildly alarming. Basically, attention doesn't follow noise, it follows contrast. Number 3, emotional labeling. Picture someone clearly upset, insisting they're fine while radiating emotional static like a broken radio. You could argue, you could comfort, or you could use this 5-minute psychological crowbar. Here's the skill. Calmly name the emotion you think they're feeling without judgment. It sounds like you're frustrated. That seems overwhelming. That looks disappointing. When you label an emotion, something fascinating happens in the brain. Activity shifts from the amygdala, panic goblin, to the prefrontal cortex, adult supervision. Literally. The emotion doesn't disappear, but it loses volume. This is called affect labeling, and it works because emotions want to be acknowledged, not solved. When you name them, the brain goes, "Oh, you see this. Cool, I can relax a bit." People often correct you if you're wrong, which is still a win because now they're clarifying instead of exploding. Either way, the emotional temperature drops. And yes, this works on yourself too. Quietly thinking, "I'm anxious," instead of "something is wrong," reduces stress faster than positive affirmations ever could. Paired with mirroring and silence, this turns conversations into psychological judo. You're not pushing, you're redirecting. And the number 1 skill? It ties all of this together in a way that feels unfair. Basically, emotions calm down when they're named like toddlers who just wanted attention. Number 2, memory rewriting Lite. Have you ever remembered something wrong, been corrected, and instead of arguing, your brain just went, "Oh, yeah, that is what happened"? That's not weakness. That's how memory actually works. Here's the 5-minute skill. When recalling an event, especially an emotional one, describe it once, then immediately describe how it ended or what you learned from it. Not the middle, not the pain loop, the resolution. Memory isn't a recording, it's a reconstruction. Every time you remember something, your brain resaves it, like opening a document, editing it, and hitting save without realizing you changed anything. By attaching a calm ending or insight, you're sneaking a new emotional tag onto the memory. Over time, the stress response weakens. The memory stays, but the sting fades. You didn't get over it, you refiled it. Therapists use this. Trauma specialists use this. Your brain does this accidentally all the time. This just lets you grab the steering wheel. The unsettling part. This also works in conversations. When people retell stories and you gently emphasize resolution instead of chaos, their memory shifts too. Subtly, legally. Ethically questionable, maybe. Effective, absolutely. And now everything you've learned so far funnels into the final one. Because this last skill isn't about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself in a way most people never figure out. Number 1, state switching. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you default to the state your body's in. Tired body, lazy brain. Anxious body, catastrophe brain. Calm body, surprisingly competent brain. The 5-minute skill is learning to switch states on command using a combo you already know. Breath, posture, gaze, and movement. Stand up, straighten your posture, take one slow inhale through your nose, long exhale through your mouth. Lift your gaze slightly, not at the floor, not at the ceiling, then move, even just a few steps. This sequence flips multiple neural switches at once. Oxygen changes chemistry, posture alters hormone signals, eye position affects alertness, movement resets momentum. Your brain goes, "Oh, we're doing something now." This is why pacing helps thinking, why walks solve problems, why lying still makes spirals worse. Your mind follows your body like a loyal but easily confused dog. Master this and everything else on the list becomes easier. Silence feels natural, confidence feels real, attention follows you without effort. You didn't become a different person, you just learned how to press the right buttons. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.